As you guys already know, I'm a very kind person. I have a wall of kindness for draining the life out of villagers. I sharpen my sword with their blood. We also use them for extracting liquid meat and pink slime, and we also take them to new planets so that they can also explore the lovely environment with us. But in addition to all of this kind and charitable work, I'm also an explorer and want to discover new things. And during my journeys of exploration and scientific experiment, I discovered something with a unique power. So follow me and I'm going to show you what I discovered. Let us go into the laboratory and wear a hazmat suit. We don't really want to contaminate the environment, so let us take a shower. And then we come to the actual laboratory. This is my scientific experiment to see how long it takes for a villager to dissolve in an acid. But what we are here for is that. The Amara. It seems to be very important, and it has very unique properties. Let us take another shower, we don't want to contaminate our base. Just to clarify, the safety precautions is not for the plant. The plant is completely safe. It's for the villagers. We don't want to contaminate our village with their stench. And I know what you're going to ask next. What is the unique property of this plant? You would be able to use it in order to make the witch's cake. And just in case you haven't noticed, we do have a very powerful wizard in our world. And I know for a fact that that person has a very fancy taste, and we can't put any garbage potion in his cake. No. It has to be the ultimate potion. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the ultimate potion factory. Powered by Vixies and Starbunkles with Vixie hats. So what the hell are we doing over here? That is a very good question. Our Vixies are making us the potion of strength 2, mana regeneration 2, regeneration 2, as well as fire resistance. We have potion melders, and at the cost of source, we are melding those potions into a composite potion. So this one is regeneration and fire resistance. And obviously this one is strength and mana regeneration. But no, it doesn't stop there. We are melding it again in order to get all 4 effects. Basically, if we put it in a glass bottle and put it up here, a fancy cookie. And this one has all 4 effects. And since I like purple, that goes on my desk. However, this was just the basics. We have a few issues. One of those issues is that although cakes are incredibly cool and they're purple, they're not very portable. But thankfully there are perfect substitutes from Ars de Vous. For example, the enchanted potion flask of extended time. So that is going to solve one issue. How about the other ones? Did I even mention the other ones? We don't have any production of sugar, nether wart, gas tears, and glowstone. But fear not. Today we're going to fix them. Also, this stupid flask is just great. It does increase the duration of any potion by 50%, which is super great because we do have a passive buff from Corel's Tombstones mod, which will also increase it by 70%. So I'm guessing we're just gonna be fine. You might be yelling at the screen right now and telling me that Lash, sugar and glowstone are never a problem. All you have to do is to make a gateway for witches, get a few data models, and stick them inside a simulation chamber. But no, we are not going to do that, because me is Lash, and I like overcomplications and stupid farms. So what we're going to do is that we're going to go with thermal cultivation and use the glimmer cap spores for glowstone. And just to clarify, yes, I did try to use reliquary, but that is super slow. Even for my taste. Although, for gas tiers, you're absolutely right. I don't have any other choices. Anywho, let us start making a farm. Nice. We have a farm. It's nothing super fancy, it's just 2 patches of 13 by 13 which are making us glimmer cap spores, and these guys are incredibly slow to grow. You know, there is a lily pad of fertility, and look, nothing happens. For you it has not been that long, I actually went and got coffee, and it just got harvested. Anyways, this stupid structure over here is also our sugarcane farm. We do have apotheosis in this mod pack, so they grow really tall. So this can also be very tall. Oh, and by the way, it has been years and years and years that I'm trying to use sheet metals from immersive engineering to resemble some sort of a metallic structure. This one works fine. This is actually tough pillars from cork, and I really love how they turned out. It has been hours and hours and hours later, and I finally figured out why the hell are we crashing, because I did crash 6 times. There is a mod called rubidium, which is essentially sodium, and unfortunately there are built-in shaders called Oculus, which is essentially iris. I had to remove both of them, and it seems that our crashes have been fixed. Our FPS has dropped, but what can you do? In any case, rubidium was the one which was causing the crashes. That's it. It's apparently not compatible with the current version of Forge which the mod pack is running. Anyways, let us get back to business. We have taken care of glowstone and sugar. For gas tiers, we don't really have that many choices, so we go with simulation chambers. And as for nether wart, we're just going to overcomplicate it by a bit, which is totally unnecessary. Obviously, the best method is going to be a garden cloche or a botany pot, because the harvesters that we have don't actually harvest nether wart. I had to replace it with wheat. Oops, my bad. But what we're going to do is that we're going to try and add a few unnecessary steps. For example, in order to get nether wart, all you have to do is to get some red mushrooms and mix it with nether production. How do you get red mushrooms? Aha! from brown mushrooms inside a blood infuser. In this way, at least we have some use for blood. And yes, I do understand mushrooms in a loot fabricator are going to give you red mushrooms, but I just want to use a blood infuser. So we just go with brown mushrooms. I do have a feeling that the solution for this is going to be incredibly simple. What we need to do is that we need to have a crafter, a blood infuser, dimensional tank with channel number 666, a promise of tenacity 3, a pattern for mushrooms, which I'm assuming now we should be able to craft it. It's actually not very good because it puts it in the wrong slot. Apparently the blood infuser is site sensitive, so you have to insert the brown mushrooms from the top. But we are also out of blood, so let us activate our blood farm, and since we are short on size, an entangled block, we shall link it to the blood infuser so that we would be able to extract items and add the blood. So very good, we have an automation for red mushrooms, which is totally unnecessary, and therefore we should be able to have a pattern for nether wart, which again is totally unnecessary. But now we should be able to craft wart automatically. Another very small issue that we have is that we're out of seeds. I was under the impression that you can use any type of seed in order to make the biofuel from mechanism, but that is not true. You can use any vanilla seed, you can use the ones from immersive engineering, but not from Farmer's Delight, or even thermal cultivation. They just don't go in. That was a normal seed. If that is the case, let us go to our compact machine, add a hydroponic bed, and start planting some wheat. Just for the seeds. Oh, we might need more. That is slow. We are going to use most of our crops for cooking. We do need the wheat itself in order to generate source, so all we can spare is seeds. Hence, that is the solution I have. And yes, we did not crash. I thought maybe I should spend some time and export everything into our potion factory so that it would run constantly. And now it seems fine. And I really like how everybody's working. Especially that guy. You might notice he's not working because the jar is full. It seems that I have discovered a very minor flaw in our mahogany farm. It is a minor flaw because all we have to do is to readjust the quarry, that's it. I think now we should be fine. Yes, it's harvesting everything. Somebody was telling me why am I not harvesting the mahogany leaves for decorations. It's just that we do need the saplings. Also, there is a mod which does this, planting the saplings, and that's not what we want. Yeah, I would say that should stop our problems. Also, do not be worried about the details, because somebody called me out. I think it was 2 or 3 episodes ago that somebody mentioned that the village lacks a lot of details, and he is absolutely right. Technically, we have never ever finished one single building. You know, floating beds, for some reason the old path of the village, incomplete walls, a very flat wall, and let us not talk about this one. So I guess very soon we should have a building episode, and I have no idea how to make it entertaining for you guys. It's okay. We'll find a way. But before doing that, we have to work a teeny tiny bit on our machine room. I have moved the machines that are making the alloys from mechanism to a more permanent location, and the only eyesore at the center of our machine room were the rest of the machines. For example, furnaces, crushers, enrichment chambers, and so on and so forth. So obviously, I also moved them to a more permanent location, and now we come to the basement of our old hut. I will start moving everything except power bit by bit, and I thought I'm going to start with drives. So we put it in the center of our machine room. And just to make my life a bit easier, I decided to spam a few machines from thermal expansions in order to make plates and alloys. Therefore, as a result, our machine room is now much more tidy. It's garbage, but tidy. Also, there was an amazing suggestion by our dearest friend, Official RZ, that we should put a reactor from mechanism in the center so that it would look nice, and I do agree, it will look incredibly nice. The problem is the chunk boundaries. I did make this machine room in a 2x2 chunk so that I would be able to chunk load everything, and then ignore the fact that I put the machines out of those chunk boundaries, as it was a few episodes ago, and I forgot. So we can't really have a multi-block in the center. Also, this empty slot over here is going to be for FTP industrial contraptions, and I think with that we should be able to handle every single recipe in this room. Oh, and by the way, we had 2 netherite furnaces and I decided to use one, but instead I'm going to use an iron crafter because it can handle more recipes. And this guy is incredibly fast, but it's not fast enough now. So I did upgrade one of the other ones into an obtainium, and let us see if it's going to cause any lag. So you go there, factory upgrade goes in, here is your power, and can you make me some drives? And how fast are you going to be? Holy... wow. Okay then, it doesn't even cause any updates. Because if you guys remember, in all the mod 6, that was incredibly laggy when it was working. But look how fast it's crafting. This is not sped up, this is the actual speed. Now comes the fun part, we have to start cleaning up the room, and I don't think we would be able to finish it by today, but at least it would be cleaned up. Also, this is something that I just learned from Bello. This looks nicer. Yeah, I would say much nicer. Adds a bit of character. Anywho, those are not very important. Let me finish up the room, and I'll be right back. As usual, this is not that great, but it's also not that horrifying, I guess. at least it's cleaned up. We are going to have more centerpieces over here and maybe a few gizmos on that wall. But for the moment, I guess this will do. Oh, and yes, just to clarify, I do understand that the center fan is not functioning. That is because that is the cable and I can't activate the fan. So we're just gonna ignore that one. Also, while doing everything, I realized we're missing something very important, and that is slime balls. True, we should be able to automate it using create or anything else, but I think we're just going to have a simulation chamber for slimes. Then again, maybe 2 of them. Because we also need a ton of slime balls in order to make rubber from FTB industrial contraptions if we want to get into solar panels or something crazy. However, slimes are fine, we can do it next to the village. That was big. Also, since slimes multiply, maybe we should have gone with a smaller gateway. We don't really want the loot, we just want the slimes. Holy. And that is the reason I said a smaller one would have been fine. I do completely understand that spawning mobs like this and getting the loot is literally the most boring thing that you can do, but another thing that I have learned in this mod pack is that yes, create is great and looks very beautiful, but it's just a vanilla plus mod, so you can't expect millions of resources. Obviously you can get millions of resources, but then your game is going to be at 10 FPS. Also, you might have to AFK for like a few hundred hours. So talking about FTB industrial contraptions, there is one more item that we might need, and that is iridium. If you guys remember, we used to have a drill in the nether and that was actually providing us with iridium. The problem is the nether no longer works. Also the end dimension. I just figured it out. So I think what we're going to do is that we're just going to make a seed for it. And while we are doing that, we might as well make another seed for dragon eggs. We have the dragon eggs, but if I want the head, I can't get it in any other way. Oh, I also need soulstone. How do we get soulstone? Well, we have like 700. That's it. Also, I guess, how many heads do we need? 150 is going to be more than enough. We need it for the draconic end shelf from Apotheosis. However, before we do that, there is one item that would be able to help us considering the fact that we have no access to the end or the nether dimension. The Tome of Alkahestry. It's a very cheaty thing and it's basically like a transmutation tablet, but it works with redstone. It is from Reliquary and the only item which is tricky to get is actually the Eye of the Storm. You get it from charged creepers, but we managed to find it in a chest. I don't really remember when it was, but I think it was around 10 episodes ago. I think one way to charge it up is that you put it in your crafting grid, which is very slow, and maybe sneak and right click? Yes, it will absorb it on its own. So I guess let us fill it in completely and see how it works. Yep, now it's full. So one of the stupid things that you can do with this is that first off, you can get your redstone back. Also, you can dupe items. You know, like nether stars, which is a bit expensive, obviously. But for something like endstone that we don't really have that much, this should be very useful. Yeah. It gives you 17. Why 17? Oh, you can charge it with blocks of redstone as well as glowstone and yeah, that's it. But it dupes everything for you. We could have also made a seed for redstone and netherrack, but it's nice to have diversity. Anyways, here is our dragon egg seed. It actually tells you. Nice. Iridium. Although now that I'm thinking, how much iridium do we need? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, it could be a fair amount. Let's make more seeds. Yeah, maybe 3 more. I'll craft it and I'll see you right back. You can plant the dragon egg seeds in a botany pot. I thought you need a garden cloche. I was going to go to the village. Seriously? Do you have any idea why that is funny? Because we have like 20 botany pots here. Me is Lush. Me is great at exaggeration. We have only 10. And I have no idea what happened here. Apparently we just need the crocks. And honestly speaking, this is not something that we need in the millions, so I'm just going to use a barrel. For iridium, we're just going to use hydroponic beds, and I think 4 of them are going to be more than enough. We haven't crashed. That is good. Do you remember that a few episodes ago I had a problem that I could not put mending on the chalks from occultism? One of you guys actually suggested something incredibly useful which I forgot to try out. Apparently we should be able to just use the Tombstones mod. Was it the other way? Probably. This is the book of repairing and we just need a soul. Nice. It repairs it. Do you also repair my charm? Oh, we need a soul. Yes, that is very handy. Talking about the Tombstones mod, I was reading the configs and I realized how the experience system works. One of the issues that we have is that if you kill villagers, you're going to lose points. I can't really help that, we have to kill a lot of villagers. But if you decide to kill raiders, then you're going to gain a lot of points. So I guess this is something that we can easily try. The tablet is incredibly cheap. For the moment we are at level 21 and a raid has started. Perfect. Aha, so as usual, I have made a slight boo-boo. I read the configs wrong, so apparently if you kill villagers, your alignment is going to go towards death. And if you save villagers, you go towards life. But we want death. Do you know why? Because I really want to be a necromancer. With life, you can't do that. But fixing that is not going to be difficult, we just have to kill a few villagers. And you know, sharpen our sword as well. Alignment is going back. Nice. Yeah, it seems that our best bet for gaining experience is just to enchant items using graves. But when I was enchanting some items, I realized we have so many empty graves. So I made some carvings for you. My dearest Shadow Player, Stefan, Roach King, Happy Hippo, Riverness, Godslayer, Adam, Abeson, and Agent Duck. And as per your request, a smiling Chihuahua watching over everyone. And also for the rest of you, I actually have to expand the graveyard. Just before we wrap up, there are a few things that I want to do. So let's get started. Again, since we don't have access to the nether, getting isnium is going to be problematic. Somebody suggested that we should use the isnium bee. The isnium bee comes from iron bee. So what we need to do is that we need to have a crystalline bee and an ashy mining bee. We breed them together. Hopefully that should give us an iron bee. Yes, perfect. You guys come back. There are different ways of getting the spawn egg of the iron bee, but can we cheat with this? If he moves less, yeah, come here. We want you to grow. Oh, that is tin. But for testing purposes, this will do. No, we can't. Okay, so let me get an iron bee and see how it goes. Okay, I had to make a cage because I didn't want the bees to escape, and well, we do have ethereal glass, meaning that I can pass through, the bees cannot. We also have 2 iron bees. They have made us some iron honeycombs, which obviously can be used in order to make raw iron, but we don't need that. What we want at this very moment is to get 1 iron honeybee spawn egg. How do we get that? We need a honey treat with a gene for iron bees. If I remember this correctly, yes, there is a gene extractor, which does not have a horrible recipe, but there are so many steps involved. Yes, thank you, so many quests. I believe if we put it inside the advanced beehive, that is going to slowly poke the bees and extract genes. But there are so many different types of genes that we have to get lucky. Also, apparently, if you make more of them, the effect is going to stack, so let's make 3 more. Oh, and they don't stack. Awesome. Oh, and this is funny. The flower for the iron bee is an anvil, and they will repair it. Just as an FYI thing, that was my bad. You need to make an expansion box, and the upgrades go here. Sorry, me is forgetful. So every time that they're inside the beehive, we should poke them a bit and get a sample. We might also need some more iron bees. How do you breed them? I just want to see if we can breed them together. No, we have to start with the parents. It's fine. This sapling mod is one of the worst mods ever. If I want to plant a sapling, I can do it myself. I think our Starbuncle even suffocated in one of them. Because here's the thing, if you break a tree, these are all the items that you're going to get. And I'm not joking, every single tree gives you all of these items. So you don't really want to pick up everything after you have chopped down some trees. I don't know why they added this mod. Also, no idea why we get so many goats. But that is Professor Ostotov. How the hell did you escape? That is perfectly fine. Go back in the hole. Also, another very important thing is that yes, our system works and we're getting gene samples. And yes, there are faster ways of doing that. For example, we would be able to squish the bees, but our bees are limited at this very moment. I mean, it's lucky enough I remember to gather a few bees before everything went corrupted, otherwise we couldn't even do this. Well, so far we only have 2 gene samples, that's 2%. We need 98 more, but that is perfectly fine. We're not really in a hurry in order to get isnium. Our mining situation can wait. But there is one more project that I really want to start working on, and that is this tunnel that you see over here. We made it ages ago, and it has no uses. And to be honest with you, there are not that many decorations too. So I was thinking, maybe we make a collection of armor and put it inside the walls. It should look nice. And actually for doing that, we're going to start with one of the most OP mods that have been updated to 1.19. Redstone Arsenal. I'm just saying maybe we shouldn't have started with that one, that requires so many crafting. We just need some flux infused dust, hopefully a bit more. It has to be cooked. That should give us the flux infused helmet, the chest plate, leggings, and the boots. I don't really remember this, but I think armor stands can hold swords, so let us make a sword too. Oh, and most importantly, how does it look? You're like a jeweled pharaoh. Yeah, I would say this is a nice idea. That one is Aldemodium. You don't have vibranium or unobtainium armor in this mod pack, which for me it was a bit weird. But we can put the expensive armors here. There are plenty of space. Also, it gives us a reason to visit this tunnel from at least time to time. There is one more armor that I don't mind adding to our collection, and that is from the Deeper and Darker mod. The base of it is netherite armor, and then we need something called reinforced echo shards. Ah, that was the first time. Okay. Because I really think this armor set should look incredibly cool. Does it? I look like a Viking with fungus growing on his head. Well, if you put this one in Skulk, it's a bit camouflaged as well. Anyways, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one, bye bye.